Hello? Hello? We're bringing to you, Avaani Media brings to you the Hazır dayı. Hazır.
बी में खेलता है ना आप होगे या वो फिट बंदा वो तो जब बैक फुट वाला थर्ड मैन और कट्टे मार मार उस दिन इसने वो आसिफ रीति को बड़ा अच्छा बैट बांट के नहीं ना मारते जब करनी चाहिए ये जब अंडर 19 खेल के आया था न्यूजीलैंड तो पाकिस्तान में ना ये शर्ट पहने नहीं यार इधर मैं की कर रहा यार तो उधर ना मैं कहीं मुझे लगा जिस तरह हम मिली से लेते पाकिस्तान 200-300 की शर्ट पाकिस्तानी या फिर 1200 मुझे लगा वैसे नॉर्मल था तो काफी के सामने ग्राउंड है एलसीसी पता होगा अब एलआरसी ये कहते हैं तब एलसीसी कहते थे एमसी के साथ ना हाँ जी बिल्कुल उसके सामने है तो उधर वो अब्दुल कादिर का शाइनिंग था और शुएब अकेडमी भी खोल ली तो उधर ना कहीं मुझे नेट पे ले गया मैंने ना मुझे लगा ऐसी प्ले लगा था मैंने ये और उस्मान कादिर न्यूजीलैंड गेम में गए थे तो 9-10 के 12
Once again, back into the commentary box. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dipesh. I would like to welcome you to this live stream. Just as I started streaming this commentary, beautiful shot there, giving me a bit of a context to talk more. Beautifully played by Sumer, scoring 18 runs of his 11 balls. Was a bit fuller than the slot, but he had to carve it from the top of the cover. Very balanced. It looks very balanced. Stable body, feet posture, and just hitting the ball out of the middle of the bat so far. Even for that single run down the ground, he looked pretty good in terms of the control. Half of a helicopter shot there. Wanted to get two, but that could have been his own demise. Once again, myself being a big fan of technicality, I'm very impressed with how Summer has brought himself into this game. Look at his poster. That is a sign of him following some routine, and gives you a sign of preparation that comes into play. That looked quite tight, went so close from the batsman, but has been signalled wide by the umpire. Bowlers obviously disappointed on the decision being made, but he missed that. It was a slower ball, as you could see. Like after the bounce, it dipped quite well. Once again towards the leg side. It's not quite wise, I thought, to commit to 2 runs there, because now Summer would be off strike for the next over. However, there are no problems giving him strike by Muhammad Quram. He's playing decent as well, and just set up in this scoring unit. I can see that the names are too long, and we can't even see the scores being made by Muhammad Quram. Ah, I see. So if it's on the other side, then Muhammad Quram actually playing Very well. This is high in the skies and has been dropped in the long on reason. Wanted to pouch it. The ball was dipping always. He had to go and gather it as well as have a flexible posture there, but came out of his lap. This is coming straight. Bilal could commit to this ball, but nobody committed, and falls right in the middle of no man's land. Yes, Sydney Scorpions cheering their players from the dugout. They probably have a plan for defending against the players of Avaani Enterprise, because the target's estimate is somewhere around 145 for my personal opinion, with a strike rate just over 7. I apologize, the average over rate of the game. This is a sitter caught by always enthusiastic Mr. Wade. Had to cover a fair bit of ground, few meters, but the ball didn't travel that long into the sky. However, had to make a quick goal to commit towards the ball, and always a little bit tricky in those situations where the batsman had tried to hit the ball very hard. Those are the balls that are always spinning, because it takes all the momentum and the energy into that rotation, and then can seem difficult than what Wade appeared to have done there. But a fair bit of cricket game experience gives you a bit of an insight as to what sort of precautions to have. Always an eye on the ball, which is what Wade did, and was able to capitalize on that opportunity. Important wicket that was, because he looked dangerous, was in good shape. Invited the batsman to go for that big shot. Noman, very smart cricketer himself. It would be a spectacle to see how he manages his batting in the second innings. Mirza Javed Ali comes into the crease. He is capable of hitting big boundaries as well. Once again, Phil is located. For those shots, just a summary report on the field set. There's a mid-wicket located. There's a cow corner, long on, long off, and deep mid-wicket in the off region as well. Fair bit of discussion going on there. Four byes given there. Well, I wasn't very happy with wicketkeeper, Mr. Newman. That seemed plumb. That hit him in full. However, must be pitching outside leg. Or the impact must... Okay, that's signal leg byes. Alright, that would have been hitting him out on the outside of the leg side. The impact must have been on the outside of the leg. Once. Oh, there was a fielder positioned in deep, like a third man located inside the circle. He scooped that and straight into his hands, galloped it. Nida has another wicket, and his figure's looking fantastic. 15 and getting 2 crucial wickets onto his 3.3 overs already. With 3 balls remaining, he has been a man of impact so far in this game. And bowled his first 3 overs were bowled within power play. And this is a fantastic, as good as it gets. A very rhythmic left arm medium pacer, Nida. Once he gets going into his rhythm, it's very hard to play, especially with a mixture of length, the variation of the pace that he possesses, and the swing that he gets early into the inning with the new ball. Fantastic asset to Avaani and Price. Beautiful performance so far. 132 for 7, as you can see in the scoreboard. New batsman Eunice Kay comes into the attack. Two runs off that ball. The dugout seems animated here at the Scorpions. They must be quite confident in their abilities to restrict Avaani Enterprise in their second innings from conceding the amount of runs that they have scored. So it's going to be a contestful match. This is... Oh, that didn't sound very good. Didn't commit to the ball quite early, and therefore couldn't reach. So had to make the hard dive in the end. Had to lean forward because the ball was dipping fast. He didn't judge that ball quite well. Scored another couple of runs there. That impacts him outside leg as well. That'll be scored, that'll be signalled byes. And the fantastic spell of Nida comes into the end. Just about 18 runs of his 4 overs. The scores are yet to be updated. And we officially are entering into the final over of the game. 137 for 7 Scorpions. They will try to go all in here. Hopefully we get to see some action like it has been happening so far in this game between Scorpions and Avaani Enterprise, the first quarter-final of the Avaani Premier League edition 4.0 between Scorpions and Avaani Enterprise. That wasn't hit well, and therefore they would be able to score 2 runs off of that. The fielder had to come all the way from the deep region where he was appointed. Fair bit of real estate to cover there. 2 runs, but nonetheless good over so far. That was bowled outside, wasn't quite the Yorker length, and that would run towards the fence. Wasn't quite intended to play over there, but Scorpions will take that, as well as Mirza Javed will take that into his accounts. He just seems a bit exhausted from that first 2 runs that he had made. 6 runs already of this final over. 3 balls remaining. Muhammad Kashif. Bit of a short run up there. Tried to hit the ball. The fielder's located and he will gallop that. That is a wicket, and most importantly, a dot ball in the context of last over. pretty decent score there in the context of the outfield. 145 runs with the loss of 9 wickets. Here by Scorpions. We will be shortly bringing you the second innings of this first quarterfinal. Noman Dar and Shafiq K walking into the crease. Mirza himself a very quiet, a very tall bowler. Might get some assistance of his height when it comes from such a distance. It can have the elements of atmosphere impact the trajectory of the ball, which is always handy as a bowler. You'd want some assistance from the nature as well in the sport, but Numandar himself, having played a lot of cricket, once again Deepesh back in the commentary box. Massive six, which it seemed like impossible during first inning. There's been a boundary shower in the second one, just in the second ball. Big cheer from the crowd out there. The dugout was thrilled. Big 6 runs coming off that second ball would have felt really good to have scored that off the blade. Very minimal movements, Numa Andar, but a very attentive player when it comes to. It's a big call, and Numan tried to play that shot. Once again taking a bit of a chance here, but has been caught in deep mid-wicket region. That travelled fair bit into the sky, but held the composure thereby fielder. An early wicket, really crucial wicket, because Nomandar can take away the game from you in no time. In just a matter of 4 or 5 overs, he can pull the game for his team, which wasn't the case just then. Wade K is known for his positive intent in the field. Would get a bit of a consultation from his non-striker colleague. Mirza would be relieved to have captured the wicket of Nomandar, but Wade, bit of a pressure here. Ah, beautiful touch there by Wade. A late adjustment will score 2 runs off his first ball. Once again, that would have made him feel good. Always a huge relief to be able to score off the first ball. Not a huge score to chase, just 7.14 is the required run rate at the moment. But it's a 7.14 required run rate for the remaining 20 overs of the game, which is a fair bit of a ask, especially for a team like Scorpions who like to play with unity and passion. One of the better teams in the community leagues and community games, good fraternity, and good set of gentlemen they've got in their team who are always ready to stand by themselves. They come into the field with plans, they tend to execute them, and usually things goes their way on good days. That was a steep bouncer. Wade tried to hook it. Would have hit high in his bats. Nobody positioned there. Just got bounced out of the 30-yard circle. There was a fine leg positioned. Could have easily gone there, but had a fair bit of time to watch that ball. Once again, it's a bit of a pressure. 10 runs coming off that first 5 balls. Nice rhythmic action there by Nazir, hitting the deck hard. Wade would be looking to capitalize. He's a bit of a aggressor when it comes to competing. Big competitor. Wade himself likes to attack the ball early or late. Very, very explosive batsman he is. And as I was speaking, that was 6. That sounded really good off the bat. Watched the ball really well. The length was incoming. He must have been anticipating that length because he looked always ready for that shot. It's a fairly flat 6 into the cow corner region. That's been always a bit of a pressure for the fielder when batsmen have made the call for 2. Bit of a fumble there, but Wade was always going to be in the non-danger end. Shafiq complimented well for Wade to have completed that 2 runs off that. Wanted to go for the big shot once again. Wade perhaps feels that he can dominate Nazir in this battle, but didn't quite connect. However, that would have felt good, having been able to connect that ball. Once again, it would be defended that ball. A cheeky single there, misfilled. The pressure of batsmen's intent to score runs can always, once again, create that bit of a fumble, in the fielder's mind. And rightfully capitalized by Wade, was very aware there towards the fielder. And as soon as the fumble happened, he was able to make that quick call to score one run. This is high into the sky, fair bit of running there. Always difficult. Also coming from the direction of the sun is what the fielder mentioned to the bowler. Wade would be relieved. It's funny sometimes. The only one fielder located in that region, and he nearly caught that ball. Out of so many places that ball could have travelled, it's not quite funny to people who are coming up with the plans and being able to execute that, perhaps anticipated something like that. However, a relief for Wade. That's just in the toe of the bat. He towed that, but shows an intention from the players, which sometimes used smartly can give a tremendous clue for strategies for the bowling team. One run was well connected, but Suffolk will just get one run off of that. And just to give you the highlight, the fielder was taken to the deep sweeper region just a couple of balls before. As soon as Suffolk was there, the plan was quite clear. Looking at the situation, with the benefit of hindsight, they exactly knew Suffolk's ability, and the bowler bowled intentionally wide. Wade had to wait there and smack that off from the top of the cover region. That would travel to the fence. That just landed once again in front of the same fielder. Wade once towed that one as well, so a fair bit of one towing from each batsman already. Was perhaps in the slot for Wade's capability, but didn't quite connect. And that actually helped him, because the ball would have carried straight to the fielder by the looks of the direction of that ball travelling. Had he connected it a bit better than what he did, he probably would have gone out by now. Once again, that fielder was taken onto the outside of the off region for Suffolk. Was full ball, and he tried to scoop that in straight, but took a thick outside edge and would just land outside of the 30 yards circle fielder. Two fielders were positioned, and lands just beyond them. Once again, safely cruising Avaani Enterprise. scoring 30 runs of the 3 overs. Batting depth is what they've got as a team. Avaani Enterprise, they play a lot of cricket in the levels, and some of the players who would have committed to competing in the game in their youths, reliving the joy of a competition that must have had a bit of a shape in itself. The angle of the camera that we've got would not reveal that, but that looked like he was trying to just guide the ball down the straight reason, but that ball beat him. Captain giving some strategic insight. I would think it'd be interesting to see what the next ball is going to bring to us. Stepped down the ground. A fair bit of toil there for one single run. Nazir in control of this over so far. Just one run. Long on and long off outside of the circle for this ball. Slightly disappointed Wade of himself, but still safe runs on the ground. Who would have liked to smoke that ball? However, not quite the length there. So Wade cruising onto his innings with a score of 20 runs of 12 balls so far. And Shafiq, 6 runs of his first 8 balls. This is easily lofted. The fielder would attempt. That went high into the sky, so it will dig itself into the ground and wouldn't travel anywhere beyond where it bounced. So the angle of elevation, doing a bit of a fielding work there for Scorpions, looked quite easy. However, Suffolk would have been anticipating a 6 out of that. Connected well, felt effortless in the context of the fact that the ball actually travelled way high into the sky. Was nearly a chance for the fielder who was inside the circle, even though the ball bounced only a couple of meters inside the fence. The fielder was nearly able to make it to the ball, and that's how high the ball had gone. I thought it was going to be 6. The Elegance did deserve those runs, but however, the comprehensiveness is what is required when it comes to being an effective scorer in this game of cricket. You need that power, the shape, and everything going perfectly fine in that split second of a moment, where as a batsman you're executing the shot in order to capitalize on opportunities that has been served in front of you. That ball didn't bounce as much as his anticipation. He was trying to come out and attack a deal on his first ball. It's a very interesting tactic by Safiq. I wouldn't dare to attack a new bowler, but it seems Safiq is well versed with Adil's capabilities, and therefore he's trying to seem ultra positive there, but Adil's on top so far in this battle of two bowls that they have had. There was a square leg just next to the leg umpire and a fine leg inside the circle, slightly wider positioned, and that ball just travelled between them for 2 runs. That's a bit of an overstatement from Adil. I would like to think early signs that was given by Safiq to the bowler that he wanted to move towards the leg side and create room on the offside. So that would have probably made Adil think he would want to oppose his intention of the batsman and wanted to chase him. Ended up giving him a short half volley towards the leg side where no fielder was positioned, and that was easily scored for 4 runs. Easy serving there for Shafiq. I probably think a wide length would have been an effective option in that context, but bringing your attention back into the field, Safiq seems to be in some kind of pain there. He just bowed down onto the ground, trying to gesture some kind of a lower back pain. It is an interesting part of his game, and seems to be in some kind of pain because he's a quality player and requires... So he's gone down to the ground once again. Seven runs of this over so far. Just cruising for a single there. Didn't even bother to run. Yeah, once again. This is looking painful from the dugout here and the commentary box.
Welcome to Avaani Enterprises, a collective of purpose-driven ventures shaping bold ideas into tangible impact. At Avaani, we don't just build businesses, we build communities. We tell stories. We create platforms for growth. It begins with Avaani Real Estate, where vision meets value, Founded in 2021, we've helped hundreds find their dream homes and sound investments. From strategic land acquisitions to off-the-plan sales, our projects, like the landmark $32 million Grantham farm development, are designed for lifestyle, legacy, and long-term return. Then there's Avaani Premier League. More than just a cricket tournament, it's a celebration of community, culture, and competition. With 16 vibrant teams and a growing fan base, Avaani Premier League is redefining what local sports can look like. Diverse, inclusive, electric. Backing it all is Avaani Cricket Club, nurturing grassroots talent, creating leaders on and off the pitch. We're not just training players, we're shaping character, confidence, and camaraderie. And to tell every powerful story, there's Avaani Media. From live Avaani Premier League broadcasts to cinematic real estate campaigns, we bring ideas to life through visual storytelling, digital.
Hughes 6. Hughes 6 from the blade of Suffolk. Fielder thought there was a chance. He just kept moving back and touched the ball. He was able to touch the ball, but he was already positioned outside of the field. He would have hurt himself as well because his mate didn't notify him of the fact that he was in very close proximity of the that ball. But interesting scene here. Suffolk seems to have given his wicket away, or is he just going out of the field because he's hurt? I can't really make the clue out of what has just happened here in the field. He did seem hurt a moment ago, so I'm not sure if he has walked out retired or he actually thought that he was caught in that last ball, which was a cotton bowled. If it was a wicket, and indeed has been recorded as a wicket for Nazir, which did seem like a ball that had bounced before it went to be served in the hands of the bowler Nazir. But healthy score here, 49 runs with the loss of 2 wickets at the expense of 5.2 overs. Wade's looking good in the crease, and Jain Ali walks into the attack to help with the proceedings that is required for the Avaani Enterprise to win this game. Just glanced, his first ball was towards the leg side, a bit too straight. Just tucked it away for 2 runs. Jade's looking comfortable already in the crease. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, and all the viewers watching and the ones that will be watching this stream later, Avaani Real Estate and Avaani Enterprise brings you this live stream through Avaani Media. Hello. In this beautiful venue of Browns Farm Reserve, located in Hoxton Park, New South Wales, beautiful day for cricket. There's a fair bit of weather that had changed a couple of days ago, with a sharp drop in temperature around Sydney region just 2 days ago, and yesterday seemed quite not as hot as some of the earlier days in this week, but today just seems to be a perfect day for cricket. Fair bit of cloud in the sky, not too much. This was close. Huge appeal, the ball stayed low. Umpire didn't give that out. He probably thought it was drifting down the leg. No gesture from the umpire. But an interesting appeal. Zain would have had his heart in his mouth, because that stayed low, didn't bounce as much as his anticipation. Probably drifting down the leg side. Once again, ball is not bouncing as much as he's expecting it to. Just 7 runs. Nazir continuing his bowling proceedings, having conceded 22 runs of his 3 overs, which is decent and very effective in the context of the game, where the required run rate is 6.86, just the par performance there. He would need some assistance from his teammates and other bowlers who will be coming into the attack. Once again, I will be back shortly into the commentary box, and I will leave the audience with the beautiful proceeding of the game for the next few overs. Do not hesitate to leave your feedback regarding the stream, and if you'd like to be tuned into the future games and all of this live stream that Avaani Media brings to you, powered by Avaani Enterprise and Avaani Real Estate, please help us with subscribing to the channel. We aim to bring you at least a couple of games per Sunday, packed with action from these community teams and elite community players. That's going in a direction that where Wade didn't intend, wasn't in control of that shot. Perhaps got in contact with the backside of the bat and lofted. That ball got lofted towards the point region, where the fielder caught it quite comfortably. Wade will be disappointed on himself, but he's done a fair bit of a role performance from his side, scoring 20 runs of his 14 bowls. Crucial runs for the team. Just 7.02 is a required run rate in the next 13.4 overs. Only 6.2 overs expensed so far to score 50 runs, but 3 crucial wickets. And each of those batsmen would have thought they could have scored a little bit more to contribute towards this winning chase. Hashim N gets into the crease. Just a matter of holding your nerves. That wicket that was just lost wasn't a great delivery. However, just the shape that he had to be in to make the reach for that ball, which was drifting down the leg. he perhaps overcommitted to it and ended up playing the shot a little bit earlier. So his bat would have positioned in the point of impact quite early, and the ball wouldn't have even arrived, and therefore resulted in that leading edge, which resulted in his wicket. Very, very important wicket there by Adil, because Wade could have been explosive and even more damaging than what he had just done. Decent run and scored at a decent strike rate. However, now the focus is on Hashim. Okay, that's carved towards the long on reason. One reason, and the teammates applauding that intent, because they really appreciate shading the fact that the batsman didn't try to hit that ball hard, and which could have resulted in another dot ball, but he just played it according to the length and the context. And big cheer actually from the dugout reason, who applauded those sort of intent, because they understand another wicket lost here would be very vital for the result of the game. Oh, that's an appeal. That looked so far away from the batsman. However, they appealed it. Fair bit of distance for me to assess the noise, but hasn't been signalled wide, and that's an interesting call. Dot ball. A mixture there, resulting in the run out. Beautiful shot, signaling his class there by Faisal, scoring 3 runs on his first ball. Was a bit of a misfill there by wicketkeeper, but Avaani Enterprise looking a bit shaky there with a loss of 4 wickets. 4 crucial wickets in the context of the game that where they would need to win if they would like to proceed into the next stage of this tournament. 4 quarterfinals. Sorry, 8 quarterfinals. First of which is being streamed to you by Avaani Media, powered by Avaani Real Estate and Avaani Enterprise.